We got a segment here. Don't quote me on this. I got a couple of Marcus Aurelius quotes.
Nice.
He has a book out there. He wrote this book a long time ago called Meditations.
Okay.
And it's something I wanted to read and I plan on reading. So I'm hoping that this will inspire me to read that. Just kind of getting into these quotes, but I wanted your guys' take on some of these quotes that I found. But just a little backstory on Marcus Aurelius. He is Roman emperor from 161 to 180 CE, current era. And I wrote some of that. So BC and AD. Let's just get into that real quick for people that don't know. The idea to count the years from the birth of Jesus Christ was first proposed after year 525 in the Dionysius Exiguus, whatever that is, a Christian monk. By Dionysius Exiguus, Exiguus. Standardized under the Julian Gregorian calendars. System spread throughout Europe and the Christian world during the centuries followed. AD stands for Anno Domini, Latin for in the year of the Lord, while BC stands for before Christ. Not as cool, classically.
No, classic.
So, and then CE stands for common era or current era, while BCE stands before the common era. So you got those two that you can kind of go by.
So this is the secular segment of our podcast.
Exactly. I don't know what that means. But someone else knows.
I'm just kidding.
So yeah, the meditations are what Marcus Aurelius wrote. So I'll get into this first one here. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength.
Oh yeah.
I feel like a lot of people need to hear that one and take some time to ponder that.
Absolutely.
How does that hit you?
Well, I mean, that's been a big theme in my life. I know last year you read Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl, and there's a huge amount of input from him about the inner life. He calls it the inner life, which sounds like Marcus Aurelius is onto the same track. And the thing about Viktor Frankl's book, when you start to look at all these other great thinkers, you start to see this trend of people who cultivate the garden of their soul, right, of their mind and that inner life. So seeing these people who have lived good lives do that, I'm starting to really believe that you have to be working on that interior life, the things you can control. And it's just very factual that sometimes there are things that you just will never be able to affect. So why be bothered by them? Why worry about them?
Yeah.
And when you stop worrying and you're believing in those things that are kind of within your immediate effect, you start to kind of, I think, become stronger, like he said in that quote. That hits me really well, and I like that quote a lot.
Yeah. The more strength you have over your mind and how you perceive things, the better off you are.
Yeah.
And I don't know, last year, like you said, I read A Man's Search for Meaning, and I think then you read it.
Yep.
But we were talking a lot about, just kind of like routines and stuff and starting your day off right. And
yeah.
That going back to that, and I'm telling you guys right now, DJ In and Out and Nick and everyone watching. So in a month when you see this, hopefully I'll be in a month of doing a routine of waking up a little earlier, reading, doing some reading, exercising, just being healthy. And when I did that last year I did that for quite some time, and that was probably the best I've ever felt.
Wow.
Like as a person.
Nice.
Just doing that routine, and maybe add some meditation or prayers. Like it doesn't have to be like praying to God or whatever, but just praying. I get doing a lot of reading on that. Like it helps manifest stuff in your life. So kind of becoming more in touch with yourself. You become more in touch with what's around you as well.
Wow. Well, I think that's a great idea. But reading, great point. Reading, if you think about it, reading doesn't do anything other than like nurture your interior life. Because when you read a book, stuff doesn't happen, right? You're not cultivating the earth in your backyard. You're making a garden. You're not fixing a part of the house. You're not doing anything other than investing in your mind.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's so powerful, but also why it's the first thing to go. Because we live these lives that are all about action, but there's not a lot of time allocated to that inner development. So Man, dude, that's a good one.
Yeah, that one hits hard. And then there's a couple other ones that kind of are kind of the same. To get like the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts.
Ooh.
And then this other one that kind of ties this: the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. So that one, happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So you're thinking good thoughts.
Yeah.
You're going to perceive things in a better light. You're going to live a better life.
Yeah.
You got your optimists and your pessimists, and kind of in this situation, glass half full, glass half empty. I'm seeing
a theme here. We might need to do a deep dive eventually on this because these Marcus Aurelius quotes are so timely, but also impactful. Because I also read the Four Agreements.
Okay.
By Don Miguel Ruiz, and he's talking about Toltec teachings, which are ancient Latin American philosophers. And the crazy thing is, right, Marcus Aurelius' philosophy of the inner life and like this, your soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. That is pretty much perpendicular to the same philosophies built into the Toltec teachings, which happened across an ocean.
Parallel?
What did I say? Perpendicular?
Yeah.
Parallel is right.
Okay.
Parallel. They're completely parallel to what Marcus Aurelius is saying, but across an ocean with no internet, no phones, no nothing.
Yeah.
So these must be some sort of universal truth going on here about investing in the interior life and investing in that kind of in your mind.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing because you're looking at, like you just said, 161 CE to 180 CE. That is before anything even remotely happened.
Aliens.
Before even the Vikings, I think, came over to Americas. But there were people here.
Still might have been Pangea. Who knows?
We don't know history.
Millions
BC,
of years
CE,
ago, right?
AD, XYZ.
I don't know how many that adds or subtracts.
This is awesome, though. This is great. I give you credit for digging into this guy.
Yeah. Having these deep things, like, it's fun. I could see why there's, philosophers and stuff, because it's so interesting to ponder these questions or go into these modes of thinking. And here I'll just hit one more real quick, because those two are kind of the same. But everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth.
Oh,
that one's
hefty.
So that one,
very relevant.
Yeah. I kind of agree. I kind of like the everything. Like, it's like a true or false question. Like when it's like everything is whatever. Like, it's like, I don't know. Can I fully agree on everything? Maybe because you just need one case to disprove it. But for the most part, totally agree that where everything you're only getting one perspective when you hear my story. Or we could all tell the same story of how we were here today, and it'll be a different story. Yeah, it's all our perspective and.
I think this is the tough part with this is we live in a world, again, different than Marcus Aurelius, when things were about what you could affect in your immediate vicinity.
They didn't have science back then.
The funny, they were animals back then. No, the idea, okay, get this really quick.
Yep.
This quick idea, roll with me, right? So he was talking about working on your inner life because you can't control the things around you. Back in the day when really the only things you could perceive were kind of what was happening around you, or if a messenger came out of nowhere and told you about it, right?
Yeah.
That was it. So he was already saying you need to work on your inner life. And now there's even more information coming at you every second of every single day. So it's like the floodgates have opened up in the modern world. The Industrial Revolution and all the technology that's happened ever since is just saying, let's globalize these messages so that we can globalize our products, so that we can globalize our revenue, right?
Yeah.
And all of that driving force has created an intense amount of information being thrown at us. And yet I don't think people are stopping to say, whoa, I just need to worry about what is immediately in my circle. And I think what this quote is really trying to say, he's not trying to say don't believe anything. And he's not trying to say believe all the things that you don't know, which is what's happening a lot right now.
Yeah.
But just worry about that world that's right around you. That's what I think it's really trying to say. Worry about the life within and worry about the life that you can reach out and touch, literally, physically. So, dude, this guy, this is almost 2,000 years ago. Like, man,
Yeah, and even if you get in, like, because you're getting into the current aspect of it, so even if you take, like Instagram for now, like you have people, or even any kind of social media, they're posting stuff of, oh, look at this vacation we went on. I got my beautiful wife, my beautiful kids, my wonderful dog, and look at my awesome car and my awesome house. But we flew on this amazing jet. Like, you don't, like, it seems like it's, oh wow, those people, like, they have so much good stuff, but that perspective that they're showing you probably isn't exactly whatever. Like, hopefully it is. Like, hopefully it is. But
hopefully for them,
that guy's probably depressed. Just like it seems like 95% of the world now is depressed on something, like, and he goes home and he hates his wife. He hates his beautiful wife. His beautiful wife.
Yells at his beautiful kids.
His stupid kids.
Kicks his beautiful dog.
Yeah, it's like you don't know what's happening. You just have one little frame, and it's it's not actually probably what's going on. But he's an influencer, and everyone's getting duped.
Yeah, I think that's a whole nother spiral. I mean, you can't believe everything is a fact, but you can't also just doubt everything, because then you're just crazy.
Old curmudgeon. You're gonna break your brain.
You have to believe in something.
Yeah,
you do. People who don't believe in anything because they're either too nervous or afraid are people who don't have an inner life that they're solid with, because there's like, even if that's not true, I'm okay.
Yeah,
that's what happens.
That's what. Oh, that's a tangent here. What's the quote? It's like, believe in something. If you believe in nothing,
you'll fall for anything.
That's what it is. Something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't quote us on that one.
Quote us on the Marcus Aurelius stuff.
Yeah.